Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. We caught about it today with Waldo Perez. He's the CEO of Neo Lithium. They are a Argentine lithium carbonate producer or wannabe producer. They've just done a deal with CATL, one of the world's largest battery manufacturers. So we talked to him about that, their plans for 2021 and getting into production by the end of the year. If you want our thoughts and opinions on that conversation and indeed their ability to get into production, you can find that at cruxinvestor.com/club, where you can also find detailed company reports. You can also find commentary from experts from around the world on a variety of commodities and companies. There are training videos on there to help you with your diligence, summaries of other interviews that we've done just to save you a bit of time. And if you want a thriving community of investors to share your thoughts and ideas with, you can get them at cruxinvestor.com/club. And of course, we'd love your feedback too. So do give us a like, leave your comments below. We'll get back to absolutely everyone. And if you want to see what we talked about today, take a look in the description. Waldo, how are you doing, sir? And Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Very good. Very busy summer for us.
Don't start. You're looking a bit suntanned. I'm not sure we should let you on the show. You're making me depressed. No, you're looking well. Have you had a good Christmas and New Year?
Very good, yes.
With the family?
Yep.
With the family. Fantastic. Hey, well, look, we haven't spoken to you since October. Quite a lot has happened. A lot has happened in the world of lithium. A lot has happened in with your company too. We thought we'd better have a catch up. So thank you very much for taking the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So why don't we do what we did last time? Why don't we start by you giving us a 1-minute overview of your business, then I'll pick it up with some questions which I've got for you.
Absolutely. Just to recap, we are Neo Lithium. We are developing the 3Q project. It's a lithium carbonate project located in Argentina. We are the third highest grade brine project in the world, the 7th biggest brine project in the world, and the lowest impurity brine project in the world. We have recently get an alliance with CATL, the biggest battery manufacturer. And actually, what we are doing is developing this lithium project, now completing the feasibility study with the intention of start construction at the end of current year and be in production in 2022.
Right. Last time we spoke, you took me through the process you went through with Bank of, I think it was Bank of America, wasn't it? And they were trying to find you some partners, and you had nine groups, 5 of which you were talking to, and then CATL came along, CATL came along at the last minute, but the process was interrupted. So you've obviously got it over the line. What is this relationship you've got? What does it mean for you?
Well, CATL, it's very important because they are the largest lithium consumer in the world for batteries. They are the #1 battery manufacturer. And therefore, it's very important because they define the specs. They require much more than our production, by the way. They are doubling capacity, battery production capacity, for 5 years in a row, every year. So it is very clear that they require a large volume of battery. They have set up a $2 billion fund that is to improve the upstream supply for the products. And our relationship with them is very important. We are one of the few companies that managed to get an alliance with them. It's very important for us to have the specification and the technology support from them, as well as financial support from them. So it's critical. And you know what? Very important. It's not the same to sell gold or copper. And you know what? Your product can go to any buyer. But when you are selling lithium carbonate, there are specs. Lithium carbonate is not a mining product. Do not come from nature. It is manufactured. It's like selling a motorcycle or a bicycle. You have to make it. You use natural product, but you need to mix them in the right way to produce a final product that is to the specs of the industry. So this is critical. And actually, even the pricing of the product varies with your specs.
But it's interesting to me that, So let's talk about that a little bit more. So CATL have come in. So it's a great endorsement for you in terms of what they think that you've got. And they've also priced it for you because they've come in and bought, circa 8% of the equity of the business, say circa $35 million, right? To add to your already $35 million bucks of cash. It says something, but you are still being valued like a mining company as opposed to an industrial minerals company, right? You just told me it's a product, carbonate is created, right? So do you think there's at some point companies like yourself, once you've reached the stage of being able to prove the ability to deliver a carbonate, should be re-rated?
Not always. I will give you an example. Take Lithium Americas. By the way, a company I was related in the past. I created that company. Lithium Americas today is valued somewhere around 0.8% pricing to the net asset value. Okay, so they are in construction. They are lithium. It's like us in construction, and they are valued at almost 80% of the net asset. We are nowadays valued at somewhere around, just to say, 20-25% of the net asset value, something like that. So very clearly, yes, the companies are rewritten once they are fully financed and in construction, okay? So it's very important, actually, to get there, to cross the line, to complete the financing, and of course, to have a partner. In their case, they also have a Chinese partner, another company, very important, and we have ours, and we keep on our way. But it is something that you can see that happens already in the market. Okay,
but what are the terms under which you get into bed with someone like CATL? Because I said, right, that's a great endorsement. They've come in here. Out of $2 billion, $35 million is not a lot. So, I'm not sure, how big an endorsement it is. It may be just an option for them, right? But they set the ground rules. They are saying, here's what we need for our batteries. This is what we need you to work to. And I know you've talked about, lowest impurity levels, etc. But do you think you're going to be able to technically deliver the carbonate in the shape and form that they need?
Oh, yes, I'm very confident. We already got a product that is almost on spec. And next week, we will be delivering more information on that. So we are basically getting very close to the final spec. So it's very important because, again, when you are doing that, you are testing not just the product, but the process, all the technology that you are using. Can you really do that? And of course, can you do it at a profit? Because at the end of the day, that's what we are doing with CATL. We are doing a final feasibility study together, which is very important because by doing that together, they get pregnant of that feasibility study. They believe in the engineering company, the technology, and everything else, or at least they agree on that. And this is not minor issue. Again, this is very, very important in this kind of materials, which are, as I say, manufactured, lithium carbonate.
But help me understand the detail of this, please, Waldo, because doing the feasibility study, it's you better understand the process, you better understand the moving parts, the economics. That's all good stuff. But technically, closer or close isn't good enough. You've got to be exactly right. When do you get to the point with CATL where they go, do you know what? This is 100% what we need. We will continue to work with you. I mean, how long is that point? How far away are we from that point?
Well, that happens, I don't know, this is a process that is going on almost on a daily basis. So we are in permanent contact, we are in permanent communication. So this process is ongoing, okay? Now, it will unveil through the year as we move ahead with the final feasibility study, and of course, also with the financing discussions with them. So this is a combination that works both ways between them and us, and it's going to be happening not at one event, like saying tomorrow or next week or next month, but it's going to happen. We expect to have delivery of the final feasibility study in August, September of this year. And at that time, our objective is to start mine construction, at least the ponds, which are at the back there on my picture, by November, December of this year, of the current
Okay, so the feasibility study does deliver the certainty around your ability to technically deliver the carbonate as they require. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but as a comment, actually the ability to deliver that is much earlier than that. I first deliver the product. The final feasibility will put a final number. So how much money you need to produce that product and what's going to be the operational cost to deliver that product. But the product is being produced literally now, and we're going to release news very soon on the quality of the product. Okay? So this is going on.
Okay, and how involved are they in the process themselves? Are they just sitting back going, "There's the specs. Come back when you've done this. When the feasibility study is done." I mean, when you say the conversations are happening regularly, I mean, what's their contribution?
No. This is well. I tell you what we're doing. It's a little bit of a. We are working in our plant, and because of the COVID restrictions for travel, they basically duplicated the work in China, and we're working together like I don't want to say similar labs because I haven't even been there, so I don't know. But we are duplicating. So I'm doing this batch, and this is sent to them, and then I'm doing the next batch, and they replicate, if you want to call it reverse engineering, except that this is chemistry, so it's reverse chemistry. So we are advancing together. And by the way, if they have new ideas or something to comment, they will definitively do. I'm expecting them to say, oh, you know what, Waldo, we discovered that here where you do that, we can do this other thing. And this is normal. I mean, this is what you expect from this and working together.
Okay, so are people back at the pilot plant operating as normal now? I know there's some restrictions.
Yes.
100%.
No, we're fully operational. We are fully operational, which is very important for us. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And you're also kind of going ahead, I noticed the press release about engaging some engineers on the DFS, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting serious now, big money. So tell me about why did you hire them? Who are they?
Yeah, Worley is actually a company that have done extensive work in South America. They built basically the SQM Atacama project. They also work extensively with Alberman, also in the same Salar Atacama. They have also worked with Lithium Americas. We did the feasibility together, actually. So they're all buddies because they work for me in Lithium Americas feasibility. So we pick them because of their experience in the business. And engineering companies are like, you really hire them by the expertise in certain topics. They're all very important, but some of them are more important, just to say, in the oil and gas business or in the gold mining or whatever. When you get Worley, you will see that you will be associated with a lot of lithium projects with them because they know the business for a long time.
Are you seeing the same sorts of parallels here as you did at Lithium Americas? I mean, what have you learned there at Lithium Americas that is applicable today? Is it just cookie cutter, same thing?
No. There is something very important that I learned. In Lithium Americas, we completed the definitive feasibility study alone. So when back at the time SQM stepped in, they say, oh, no, we don't like that feasibility. We will do another feasibility. And they did another feasibility. And guess what? When Ganfeng stepped in, they did another. So there is 3 feasibilities done on the same project, wasting years and years because each feasibility study takes a long time. So this is what I learned. I could have the feasibility study finished this year. If you go back in some of my interviews, just to say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was supposed to have finished my feasibility study, the previous year, 2020. But I didn't. And why? I hold on that until I do have a partner. Because it's a waste of time to do your own feasibility and think that you are so, how can I say, think that you can, that you will do it and people will accept it just because it's yours. No. And we actually wait and we had to endure that because some people were asking, what the heck, just finish that. It wasn't lack of money. We didn't have money in our company. It was just the fact of being sure that we can have an acceptable feasibility study.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart. We've seen people fall over and trip over that in the past. Other sectors, obviously, but I think with a technical, commodity like yours, even more important, I suspect. Now, when we spoke last, you're going to like this. You were 99 cents. Do you remember that? Can you remember it? So long ago. October, you were 99 cents.
Yeah.
The market has gone crazy ever since Tesla announced the Piedmont deal. I think lithium has started to be on the minds of big generalist funds. The EV revolution, battery revolution, is now starting to be understood, or at least people are moving on it. Your share price has trebled since we spoke. So well done. That's good. Yeah. Shareholders must be happy.
In part, thanks to you.
Well, I didn't want to say, but the immediate response after our interview was vast. But let's talk about the market slightly if now, okay? Because do you feel this is like there's been a bit of a false dawn with that Tesla announcement with Piedmont, or do you think people are truly now starting to look at this seriously?
Well, first of all, the market has turned for all of us, not just for new. Everybody is getting higher valuation. And the reason is very simple. Lithium prices are increasing. And there is no question, nobody has a question that lithium prices are going to continue to increase. And there is a very strong demand for electric cars. And electric car demand is basically, if you take the worldwide demand of lithium, electric cars will end up being like the vast majority, literally. You will outshine every other lithium market out there. So the electric vehicle is a reality. There are some issues that are related also, and it's very interesting, with the pandemic. And actually, when the last time I spoke with you, I mentioned that in our discussions, we had something very near to close a deal. And that was in March. The pandemic came out and everybody went into the panic mode. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe this is the end. People were very reluctant to actually move. Everybody froze. So the entire industry froze. But what happened is that governments focused even more on the transformation of vehicles into electric vehicles worldwide. It wasn't a one country thing. It was a trend in the entire world saying, well, this crisis is bringing a big economic hurdle into the world. Now is the time to change the technology. Now is the time to go electric. It is the perfect moment. And people is pretty much aware. And I don't think there is any relationship between environment and the virus, but people is more aware on the environment today, a lot. Call it psychologically, call it whatever. But this is causing much more sales in electric vehicles everywhere. It is outpacing every projections done. So that is bringing pressure on the entire chain, battery manufacturers, lithium producers, and so on.
No, I agree with that. We spoke to a battery manufacturer in Europe a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying that the numbers which they'd laid out for themselves to hit in terms of being able to access product by 2025, they're now going to need to do it by 2022. So they're saying there already significant numbers have doubled because they're seeing a trend, a movement of the mind as to what people want to see the new world looking like. So I think it's very, very exciting times for people with, whether you call them miners or whether you call them industrial mineral companies, to feed into. I think there's a real movement here, and I think investors are sniffing this out for themselves too. No, it's an interesting point you raised there. So just to finish off, because I'm really keen to understand the timing around CATL. Feasibility studies, we've talked about appointing engineers, etc. What can we expect to see in 2021 from Waldo and Neo Lithium?
Well, first of all, what we have we're working on, number one, when you see other projects like Lithium Americas had an industrial partner, which was Yanfeng, but they also bring together a financial partner that was Putele. When you see Oro Cobre, they brought an industrial partner, was Toyota Tsusho, and they also brought Jokmek, which was financial partner. So it is probable, it is feasible that we bring a financial partner to the equation, which makes sense and give us more strength in the negotiation table when we need to finance the whole project with CATL. So this is one thing. The other thing that you should remember is that we have the final environmental permit that will come along with the financing, as well as certainly the DFS. In all that, we expect to close a deal with CATL earlier than completing the DFS. So it's going to be a process. There is going to be very important news coming. And basically, you will see the project crystallizing to start production by the end of this year. I should say, though, that like in everywhere, the pandemic has an effect on this. I am hopeful. I believe that the vaccination is going to be this year. It's going to get to a point that we will be able to work, that we will be able to operate. Argentina is in the summer today, which means that our cases have dropped and there is more freedom of movement and all that. And that's okay. I expect that in the winter, it will not be like that. In the winter, we will be where you guys are now, okay? And that will create delays. But the work we are doing now, it's taking all the field work. Therefore, we know that by August, September this year, we will have finished and completed all the work.
Okay, fantastic. And what type of financial partner are you looking for?
No. We are in discussion, so I can't describe because it's confidential. But hopefully, when I'm talking about a financial partner, I'm talking about somebody that is interested in getting money. It's not an industrial or a strategic.
Got it.
Just finance.
Understood. Well, look, Waldo, nice update. I'm going to put the link to our previous conversation below because you clearly articulated the business plan and your strategy for delivering it. You've hit some of those points since we last spoke. Trebling the share price, well done, very well done. That's what it's about, name of the game, and obviously getting into production by the end of this year. So stay in touch, let us know how you're getting on. If there's anything you want to talk about, pick up the phone, okay?
Great, thank you very much.